wasn't ASU. According to the initial report from On3, Steve Wilfong and Pete Nakos have learned at the camp of Arizona State quarterback Sam Leavitt is actively shopping the talented passer, quote, at a high level, close quote, to other programs with a plan of entering the transfer portal when the window opens on January 2nd. Leavitt's agent and his brother, Dallin Leavitt, posted it on his Instagram story. He took a screenshot of a text conversation that he had had with Pete Nakos from On3 that basically said, yeah, we haven't decided anything yet. This is premature.
You're jumping the gun here, yeah.
You're jumping the gun on this one, et cetera, et cetera. I know you sprung into action doing the Gambo thing. What did the Gambo thing yield? What did we find out?
I know this. Here's what I'll say. No decision has been made yet. Sam Leavitt hasn't decided at this point what he's going to do. They're obviously looking at their options. What we do know, without any doubt, is that he has a multi-million-dollar NIL deal with ASU. Multi-million. He's got a PayPal, Adidas, Powerade, cold beer and cheeseburgers. Arizona State moved mountains to accommodate him and get him the NIL deal that was a good deal. But there are 105 guys in the program, right? And you can't cater to one. You can't have one guy. Like if this is a money thing and he's like, well, I want more. I want another million more. That becomes very risky, I believe, for ASU. I believe it becomes very risky. They've got a culture they're building. You can't let one guy, in my opinion, this is my opinion here, you can't let one guy affect the rest of the roster. They want to have a deep roster. They want to have a deep, not paying everybody, but there are 105 players. If you put all your resources into one guy and you can't keep other guys, well, that affects your offensive line, your defensive line, your linebackers. It affects your wide receivers. It affects everything else. So I think that ASU's got to be very, very careful here because there's a great risk involved. Now, if Sam did decide to leave, there's no doubt in my mind that there would be quarterbacks lined up throughout the country to come play for ASU and Kenny Dillingham. They'd have no problem replacing him. I'm not worried about that at all. Sam's a good player. I want him to stay. But if the numbers, if this is about money and money only, there is limits. There are limits to how much you could pay a guy. There's a limit. There's a limit to how much, I can be paid. There's a limit to how much you can be paid. There's limits.
That reads like I should be preparing myself for Sam Leavitt to go. If I'm cutting right to the quick here, that reads like I should brace myself for a Sam Leavitt departure, reading between the lines of what you're saying. Is that fair? Is that reasonable for me to read between the lines?
We don't. The thing is, we don't know. We don't know.
But just hearing the tone of your conversation makes me feel like, oh yeah,
can somebody pay
about this could be very real here.
Can somebody pay more money than ASU is? Probably. Is that what it's about? Is that what it's about? I mean, if it's all about money, then, that's what happens. Like, ASU may not be able to play with Alabama, Ohio State, Notre Dame, those SEC schools, Big Ten schools. They might not be able to play on that playground.
Yeah.
So is it all about money or not? I don't know the answer to that. So I can't say one way or another if I know what's going to happen.
This trickles into a larger conversation then, and I expected that this would trickle into a larger conversation, so I'm not entirely surprised here. This kind of then trickles into the Kenny Dillingham conversation, and not so much that he's going to leave or not so much that he's going to take one of these big jobs, but the thing that I worry about, and he reaffirmed yet again his commitment to ASU after the West Virginia game on Saturday. I'm not leaving. I never said I'm leaving. I'm here, all of that.
Right.
The one thing that I always worry about when it comes to Kenny leaving is if he feels like he doesn't have the full financial backing to be able to play in the playground like the other kids do, And I understand ASU. I get it. I'm not dumb. ASU's at a different level than they are in the SEC, than they are in the Big. I get that. I totally get that. But the fear is that Sam is not necessarily, okay, if he goes, I'm sure they can find a quarterback, and they may even like the ones they've recruited, and they could be fine, and they could be all well.
They'll have lots of options if that happens.
It would just be a signal like, hey, we don't have a blank check here at ASU. Hey, there are, to everything
That's
you're
true,
just saying,
they don't.
Hey, there are limits, and we can only go so far.
That's true.
And at some point, Kenny, and I'm just thinking out loud here, I know nothing about this. Kenny may decide, I want to go somewhere where there aren't limits. I want to go somewhere where we're the ones being the financial bully. We're the ones writing the big checks. We're the ones doing all the things. And if there are limits at ASU, You just wonder if that day is going to come maybe sooner than we think with Kenny. And again, I'm not saying this hiring cycle, but you understand what I'm talking about? There's very much a who can write the biggest check here. And if ASU just can't compete in that and Kenny one day decides he wants to compete in that, that's where things might change for him. Yeah. That's all I would worry about with this.
Yeah, I think right now the focus of attention is on, what is the quarterback situation like? Is Sam going to go out into the portal and see what kind of money's out there?
You're not worried about that?
About Kenny?
Yes.
Not right now. Not right now.
I mean, based off of what I just said, does any of that stick at all? Or
for the future, or for right now? No, I don't think he's already came out and said he's not going anywhere. So I don't think that's an immediate concern today. To your point, though, I mean, I can't say that's for. I think for 1 year, you're good. If things don't change in a year and more money comes in and businesses step up and all of that stuff, we'll revisit it in a year and maybe it's a different situation. But do I think that Kenny Dillingham will be the head coach of Arizona State for next season? You're damn right I do.
I want to be clear about this. I wasn't talking about this happening in the next couple of months.
You're talking about the future.
I'm just talking about the future.
Sure,
I'm just talking about if a trend develops of this happening again and again and again, which is what made last year so special. Sam stayed, Jordan stayed, money was spent, checks were written, everybody was happy, everybody was getting what they wanted to stay. And Sam, and by the way, it doesn't help that the Athletic website doubled down on this reporting and kind of reported the same thing as On3, suggested that it's, highly likely he might be leaving. They even suggested 2 potential destinations for him.
Okay.
Miami, Texas Tech. Now that would suck.
Because that's not Alabama. Ohio State.
That's somebody in your conference who's got money. Texas Tech, who basically bought themselves a brand new defensive line, a brand new offensive line. When they played Texas Tech, what did we say the number was? $28 million?
Something million dollars.
It was $28 million. That's the worry, is that one of these big giant behemoths isn't in the SEC and isn't in the Big Ten. They're in your backyard. They're in your backyard, and they're poaching your guys, and they're writing bigger checks than you can. That is not a welcoming proposition, Gambo. Not at all.
Okay.
When you got somebody like that, you got to deal with in your backyard. I hope it doesn't end up there.
Their quarterback, the Baron Morton kid, is a senior.
Yeah,
so they will be looking for a quarterback at Texas Tech. That would make sense.
And Carson Beck is gone, too, in Miami, so they'd be looking for one as well.
Yeah, I think it really and again, you've got 105 guys on this roster, man. You've got a certain amount of money to spend on NIL, and your quarterback's going to get the most, but other money's got to be divvied out too. If you've got to take that money away from other guys to pay your quarterback, well, then you're going to lose those other guys. So you've got to make a decision. Like, do we pay the quarterback everything, but then we lose 5 other players, or do we keep those 5 other players and go get a quarterback that we like just as much somewhere else?
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.